Everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the South Campus Show. This week with John Abel of our staff. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Father. It's good to be here.
Thank you for taking time.
Sure.
Hey, we've got a lot of things going on at the
Sure
parish, and one is it's drawing near Valentine's Day. I guess we got a Valentine's project second year. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, thank you, Father. Ann Esping and I and many others from the staff and volunteers will be working, especially this coming week, to prepare for our deliveries to parishioners that are 75 years and older. Sorry, Father. That they'll be receiving a Valentines package similar to this one, and in it will be Valentine cards. The youth kids are making tissue flowers, and we have lots of chocolate, and maybe there'll be a surprise book in there too for them. But it's a great way for us to say thanks, really, to those parishioners who have been so instrumental in the ongoing growth and support of the parish. So it's a fun thing to do, and if last year was any kind of a record of responses, it was so well received that we couldn't help but do it again.
Why not? Very creative.
That's fun. Yeah.
I bet there's not many places doing that. I mean, how'd you come up with the idea?
Gosh, I think when we were, as we've talked before, one of the things that kind of COVID did for us was to sort of think, what else could we do to reach out to parishioners? And we had a phone pal program where we connected with our senior parishioners, and this kind of came out of that. And by the way, I should mention that if you'd like to be a delivery person, delivering Valentine's bags, just hop online and you'll see the opportunity there and a sign-up genius. So we'll be this weekend coming up, all the candy and the Valentine cards and everything will be brought to church, and so we'll have tables set up for people to drop stuff off. It should go very smoothly.
Make it easy, yeah. And just another way for folks to get involved. Right. And I might add, I can hardly wait till next year when I get my thing,
We feel the same way.
I can wait.
Yeah.
All right. No, a nice way of recognizing the older citizens of our parish, if you will. And then we've got our South Campus show, which came out of, as you mentioned, COVID. We continue to meet every Thursday or so. Talk a little bit about the upcoming guests we have.
Well, it's very exciting. We've had a lot of great guests over the past year and a half, and thanks to Liz Fahm and others who have helped produce this show, but Archbishop Hebda, as I understand it, Father, has agreed to appear, and so you won't want to miss that, folks. I think he's so insightful, and I think he's got such a pleasant demeanor about him that you two should really connect well, and it'll be worth the time to tune in next Thursday at noon.
Yep, I'm looking forward to that. And my mother around, she'd say, "Now, Bob, make sure you don't have gravy stains on your on your blacks there," which I'm going to check that out.
Sure.
But who else we got coming on?
Well, we're going to be doing something. I think it's really cool. Where we're going to, Father, you've been very gracious in connecting with some of your brother priests who have been interviewed the last couple of months. We're now going to reach out to our families, and I think it's going to be really fun for families just to share some of the things that they do together. What fun things are our families doing, whether it be a favorite vacation or, who's the person in the family that talks the most, for example, and things like that. So it's a way for us to connect, and especially when it's so cold out, to find ways to still stay connected and make it to the spring, Father. That's our goal.
Yeah.
We got to get to the warm.
We're getting there. We're
Yeah.
getting there. 15, balmy 15 below this morning.
Yeah.
But who in the family talks the most? And in our family, we'd all point to each other. So the different families, and I might say that families, they don't have to be canonized to be eligible for this. Right?
Excellent point. It's just kind of a day in the life. if you will, of the families, and we just find out a little bit more about them. And I think that there's nothing to be nervous about. It's just going to be a fun, and being interviewed by you, I'm as relaxed as I've ever been in my life. This is so easy. So
just don't fall asleep on me.
that's right.
Right. But true. I mean, so families, it's just real families,
Yeah.
that are part of our parish family, and that's what matters.
For sure.
So, good. Calendar's coming out, and believe it or not, we're going to have Lent in less than a month. Tell us about some opportunities.
Yeah.
Right for Lent.
Well, there's a couple of things. One is that we've got our men's and women's welcome retreats that are coming up, and I know that all of us are trying to find kind of an inspiring way to have a deeper purpose in our lives and in our relationships with each other, and that's why I'm going. I'm attending the men's retreat, which is a day and a half on March 5th and 6th. That's a Saturday and a half of Sunday. And I know for the women in the parish, it's April 30th and then May 1st, half day, Saturday, Sunday there. But I've talked with men and women who've been through this, and they've come away with it with just a brighter light, if you will. It's given them, I think, another step into their faith journey, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing, and taking it a step further.
Yeah.
And I think with the brotherhood or the sisterhood, it gives us that opportunity to share and find that.
That's great, John. I really think you're going to enjoy it. But it's parishioners, a team, telling their faith story, what they've learned, and what happens after a time. It's just this energy builds up, and people are connecting and having fun.
Yeah.
And so I always say it was 30 hours. It'll be well worth it.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So we got that, and what a great way for the men jump into Lent in that kind of experience coming up. So we've got the welcome retreats, and what else?
Yeah, well, I have
Comes to mind for you?
to put in a plug, because this is also something that, speaking of our faith journey, it's one more step. I know, Father, you take advantage of our Eucharistic adoration on Thursdays here in the historic church, where every time we turn toward Jesus, we discover powerful ways that we're not alone. And I find that I go to the 4 o'clock to 4:30 time slot. You can go to any time slot you want, but I choose that time slot. It works for me, and it's quiet, but there's a power in that, and it's just this ability to connect and just let it kind of go. And I feel like it's one of those little hidden treasures that we offer here at the parish, that I hope, especially during Lent, if you have some time, doesn't have to be a half hour. It could come in for 10 minutes, but just sit there with Christ and find, I think, a way that you can really release and understand that, as I said, that we're not alone. So
Beautiful, beautiful, and yeah, for me, John, I find I'm a guy, as you know, on the go all day long, and this is my unplugged time, and I need that, and it's hard for me to slow down. It takes a while in there, but things that I kind of ritualize my time. I do my dedication. Who am I going to dedicate this half hour to?
Yeah.
Someone always comes to mind. I write their name, light the vigil candle.
yes,
Take a deep breath. Marlo is a much better contemplative prayer than I am. He just
Good
sits
boy.
there and helps me. But
yeah,
and invariably there's other people, and they say silence is the most powerful communicator, and I believe that.
I believe it too.
So but it is a spiritual practice, and like a practice, it's a habit to form. You get into it, and it's kind of becomes a part of my life and a way of life.
Yeah.
As we're invited to make prayer that kind of a priority. So beautiful. We got that.
It is.
I'm looking forward to Lent. There's I think just in our own walk, we need to be fed. We have Eucharist, and what we feed in our minds is important too. And you see these. I'm a sucker for infomercials on TV.
Oh, sure.
If I see something, I want to buy it. Kind of the consumer in me, I got to control that. But I've seen these like superfoods, and they talk about and all that. So, was reflecting on with some suggestions that you gave, and I kind of built on that, John, is some spiritual superfoods, things that feed the soul and bring joy to our lives if we can sort of work them into our hearts and minds and so forth. And I'll just kind of conclude our time sharing these, and I'd like to share with you what I came up with based on some of the thoughts you had. And the first one is the moment. Make the most of the moment. Be fully present to the person you're with. That's not as easy as one would think in our distracted society. And then we think of other things like letting go of the outcomes and trusting that God is enough. That's a tough one for me. And I had a hard time watching the Chiefs and the Bengals and letting go of the outcome I wanted the other day.
Right.
I mean, but it's going to be what it is. That's one. Another one is, if you're feeling anxious, take a deep breath and ask Jesus for help. Something that simple. Okay. Tough one. It's right out of the Bible. But love your enemies, including those you don't think deserve your forgiveness. So forgive your enemies, including those that you don't think deserve your forgiveness. And that takes work. That takes some prayer. What else? We've got show up. It's a good way to be for others. Just to show up. I find in my ministry that's really important, just showing up. And then put people first. And that means making time for people is a good way to do that. Putting them first. I've thought about that a lot, and in our ministries, it's about people. People are about effectiveness. Time is about efficiency, and we try to balance those because we're busy people. And then another one is kind of the idea that every loving an act of loving kindness is a healing balm for a contentious world. The invitation is to be that healing balm whenever we can be that. There's opportunities for that. Be the healing balm. And the idea that God is in everything, and so look for God to show up in ways you never expected. I like that, and that seems to be happens every day. And the other one is lend a helping hand. It's our way of saying we're all in this together. We walk the journey together. That's what the Welcome Retreat is about. And then the last one, when in doubt, give thanks. It's a surefire way to shift the focus off the negative. If I find myself getting negative or down on stuff, down on the weather, down on this, it's what am I grateful for? That really helps. So, but thanks, and those are the sorts of things I was just thinking, if we can cultivate these through our prayer and through things like retreats that are positive, and as we walk this with each other, if we can cultivate that, life is going to be good. Life is going to be okay. Not easy, but we can do it together. So.
Well, I like that analogy of the spiritual foods, and I'm thinking as you were talking there too of the 60 plus ministries that we have at St. Victoria that really, for anyone, there's something out there that we can provide that will help them deepen, a sense of purpose for themselves and as I said, the spiritual foods that you identified certainly give us that opportunity to take that further step in our journey. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and I might add, John, on a good day, I might live a couple of those fairly well, but not always. You don't have to be perfect.
Right.
We aim for progress, not perfection, as I said the other day, thank God, but
Right.
something to shoot for.
For sure.
And we should wrap it up.
Let's do
Arlo's
it.
asleep, so
He's content. He's
he
at
is.
peace.
He's at peace. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Next week with Archbishop Hebda. Looking forward to seeing you. Take care. All the best.